Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to our class, Multicultural Counseling. Today's topic is on internationalization and indigenization of counseling. So I'm going to divide our class into 3 segments. The first segment, I will cover on internationalization of counseling. In our second segment, we will cover the content on indigenization of counseling. And finally, in our third segment, is on indigenization of counseling in Malaysia. Alright. As our world becomes increasingly connected, whether economically, politically, technologically, and culturally, we can see how counseling is actually transforming from Western-based practice to a more global phenomena. So, counseling we know is from the West. So now, because of globalization, it becomes more globalized, And increasing interaction across national borders have resulted in the globalization of counseling. And there is this interconnectedness of human, environment, and also technological concerns which actually affects the people worldwide. So what does this mean? This means that counseling is being expanded to countries all over the world. So when counseling is imported into countries all over the world, we know that counseling originates from the US. So the implementation of counseling services in these non-US countries and cultures may differ significantly from country to country, from community to community. And each model are actually valid and effective method of helping individuals within the given social context. If you remember, in our previous class, when we learned about the multicultural counseling theory, this implies that the theory acknowledges all kinds of approaches, be it conventional counseling or other indigenous form of therapeutic healings. Therefore, regardless of the counseling, whether it's being imported or whether it's actually counseling as being practiced in the particular country or it is an integration of both approaches, these are all being accepted by the multicultural counseling theory. So we can say that each model of the implemented counseling services in this non-US culture are actually valid and effective method of helping the individuals there, that particular country. No one approach is actually inherently good or inherently bad, but simply representing a different worldview. Additionally, we need to be aware that, as counseling is expanded to other countries, so there is a need to broaden the multicultural counseling methods of treatment to include, like informal or natural system of support, alternative healing methods, and also culturally specific systems of helping, hence becoming more multiculturally competent. So now, let's have a look at some of the shortcomings of conventional counseling approach. We need to look at this to understand why we need to indigenize counseling when we are adapting it to other countries. The first one, because counseling is from the West, more specifically, it's actually comes from the US. So most of the ideas, the principles, and the philosophical beliefs are actually derived from the US political and social structure. Okay. Second, majority of the counseling framework actually address the experience and issues which are specific to the social and cultural context of the US. If you look at the theories that we have, if you look at the textbook, it actually focuses more on the cultural groups that exist in the US. Yeah, it does not really look in general, of issues or experiences for people all over the world, specific to the US. And the third one, the multicultural counseling research. The samples are taken from the US, and also research also addresses questions that are specific to the need and to the US ethnic or cultural groups. So we can summarize that shortcoming of conventional counseling approaches really relates to how internationalization of counseling is going to affect the global community. Okay, students, because of the shortcomings that we have already mentioned just now, of course there will be problems or issues when counseling is spread internationally to other countries. Conditions in the US is not the same as conditions in other countries, right? So now let us analyze a bit of the issues which relates to internationalization. Okay, the first one, Western ideas of mental health can actually change the way international communities conceptualize and experience their own mental health. For example, in Hong Kong, clients who have anorexia, they just want to be skinny. They don't have the fear of being overweight. But when media coverage talks about the Western perspective of diagnostic symptom of anorexia, which actually include the fear of being overweight, there is a significant increase of cases that conform to the Western fatphobic version of the disorder. So, this means that the Western ideas of anorexia has actually been absorbed by people in Hong Kong. So this is how a conceptualization and experience of mental health have been affected. Okay, there are also evidence that transmission of Western values into a culture can create internal psychological conflict. Okay, for example, in Japan, their mental health problem actually reflect a confusion among the Japanese individuals that have to endure interdependence cultural values and emerging Western values of independence. So, clash between the value of collectivism, which are in the Japanese culture, but because of globalization, technology, so there's also this Western culture coming into Japan. So people there become confused, and this relates to their increase in mental illnesses. Okay, next, increased mobility can also affect the type of problems individual in the local community may present in counseling. Because of globalization, so many people become more mobilized. They have to work elsewhere. So families might be separated, and this adult migration will create shift in roles and adjustment issues for family members who migrate, and as well as those who are left behind, especially like their spouses or their children. Counseling also relates to individualism and capitalism, which actually contrasts with the help-seeking behavior in other contexts. For example, in our context, Malaysia or Asian, we do not share secrets with strangers outside of the family, But counseling, which is individualism, does that. Also, we do not pay for counseling services. But this is not true for counseling, which is from the US, which relates to capitalism. So they capitalize, they think of counseling as a public commodity. So this will affect how counseling relationship is viewed and experienced, as well as how counseling is being accessed in a society. Another issue that happens is also on the underutilization of service. Yeah, due to cultural mistrust, stigma, limited access, affordability, and structural barriers such as transportation, childcare, emotional barriers such as fear of being judged. So this causes people to underutilize the counseling services. So up until now, we have seen how globalization causes counseling to be internationalized. And we also see some of the shortcomings of conventional counseling. I also presented to you some of the issues or problems when counseling is being imported or counseling is spreading internationally. So what are the implications? Now, since globalization, we can see that it have an impact on counseling and the international communities. As counselor, what must we do? We, as the future counselor, we have to think of ourselves, not only service to our own communities, not only local, but we must think of ourselves as international or global counselors. We must expand, we must broaden our awareness and understanding of multicultural counseling methods to include natural system of support, informal systems, alternative healing methods, and culturally specific system of healing. We must do that because we are actually giving service to more than just people in our country. Second, we must also increase our competency to be more effective counselors on the international scale. We must keep up with the current cultural issues that are happening out there. Not only the Western base. We must equip ourselves with not only the Western knowledge, but also more than that. We acknowledge, in the multicultural counseling theory that, both of this, the conventional counseling and also the indigenous methods are important. So we must be aware of the impact of globalization to the different countries. Finally, we have to make international collaboration across the field, the agencies, other countries, for example, in training, consultation, supervision, and also internship. Alright, student, I think this is the end of the segment for now. Overall, we now know about globalization, how it becomes widespread, and how it affects counseling, and limitation and issues. Alright, so see you in the next segment. Thank you.